of deep, dreamless sleep, we are most essentially ourselves. It is in Sushupti, deep sleep, that we are happiest, and that it is in Jagrat, waking, that problems begin. For Ramana, nothing can compare with bliss and well-being that comes from deep sleep when thinking is absent. This means that bliss is most intense for us when we are free of thoughts and perceptions. In fact, Ramana goes as far as to say, Jagrat, waking, is ignorance, and that Sushupti, deep, dreamless sleep, is the pure state of absolute wisdom. Ramana says in the Guru Vaichaka Kovai, having experienced fully the great bliss of the sublime state of deep sleep where no other objects exist, it is sheer ignorance not to value that state and to regard it as one's salvation, but instead to desire something else. And the ignorance of forgetfulness that makes you say that the waking state is a state of illumination makes you declare that deep dreamless sleep is a sheath of ignorance. If the false belief that the waking state is the illustrious and unique state of truth goes, then deep dreamless sleep will shine forth as pure non-duality. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 69. What all beings consider as night is day for the wise. What all beings consider as day is night for the sage. Therefore, it is said that the enlightened state is Jagrat Sushupti, or in the waking state and the state of deep dreamless sleep simultaneously. It is a state of perfect awakeness and perfect stillness combined. How to locate this state, Jagrat Sushupti? It is very close. It is the interval between two thoughts, as well as the source of all thought. So as you can see, there are many thoughts, ideas and questions that can be radically changed, if not the world itself, the way in which we perceive or understand the world, which in the end is the same as the world is only our perception of it. So let's look at another idea that can radically change our understanding of ourselves and the world, and might just build on some of the ideas that we have been thinking about. Is the thinker merely a thought? So the question is the one who you believe is thinking your thoughts, is that one itself only a thought? But before we begin to make this inquiry, let's ask ourselves some preliminary questions. Firstly, is it not clear that we cannot both be the perceiver and perceived? It is pretty obvious that I cannot be both the object being looked at and the subject doing the looking. I must be one or the other. Therefore, I cannot be my body because I am the one who's aware of my body. I cannot be my feelings because I am the one who's aware of my feelings. I cannot be my emotions because I am the one who's aware of my emotions. And finally, I cannot be my thoughts because I am the one who is aware of my thoughts. Therefore, it follows that I cannot possibly be my body because I am the one who is aware of my body. The body, therefore, is not me. The body is an object to a perceiver. That perceiver, the one who is perceiving the body, must be me. I cannot be my feelings because I am aware of my feelings. So I am not my feelings. I cannot be my thoughts because I am aware of my thoughts. Thus, it becomes very clear what I am not. I am not my body, my thoughts, or my feelings. I am the one who is aware of all those things. Now, this brings us back to Ramana Maharishi's question, who am I? Who is this one who is aware of body, thoughts and feelings? Or better yet, what am I? To answer these questions, we need to change our point of view. We need to take the seeming position of the seeming one who is the awareness of these objects. We need to ask ourselves, from where do we see? To do this, look around your environment right now. Ask yourself, from where do I see from? What is the point, location, or self-center from which seeing comes? If you look closely, particularly if you can look closely with a quiet mind, you will see that you absolutely cannot locate where seeing is coming from. Seeing arises from no point, location, or self-center at all. Just as when you ask Ramana's question, who am I? and can find nothing, no person. In the same way, you cannot find a location from which seeing originates. Can you see there is nothing that sees, that your direct experience is, that no one and nothing sees? Can you see that seeing is happening by itself? Could you say the same thing about hearing? Where is the source of hearing? Or is hearing also happening spontaneously, without effort, by no one, coming from nowhere? Seeing, hearing, feeling, and even thinking are happening, and no one and no thing is making them happen. It happens quite naturally, without the slightest effort. This non-place, which is the source of your seeing, is the very ground in which things appear and disappear. This base is no thing, or as the Buddhist might say, empty. Thus it becomes clear that the reference point, the self-center, or the idea of me, is actually insubstantial, empty. Now let us return for a moment to Ramana Maharishi's comments on Sushupti, or deep dreamless sleep, as our truest state, our natural state, the source of bliss and of pure non-duality. Ramana identified Jagrat Sushupti, wakefulness plus deep sleep, as the state where one has the awareness of the waking state simultaneously combined with the profound peace of deep sleep. This combined state of Jagrat Sushupti is not the same as the waking state and the deep sleep state, as they are separately. In the Indian spiritual traditions, these states, when combined, are called Ati Jagrat, beyond sleep, Ati Sushupti, beyond wakefulness. Previously, it was said that the state of Jagrat Sushupti is very close to us. It is the interval between thoughts. And we said that this is also the source of thought. However, we could also say that when we ask the question, who am I? And find no one, and when we look for the self-center, for seeing, hearing, feeling and thinking, and find nothing, no location, no place from where these things arise, we intuit the emptiness of self, and in that intuition, we are in a state of Jagrat Sushupti. So if it is clear in any moment of direct experience that there is no self, no person here, what is it that makes us think there is some substantive thing that is me? Why do I imagine that I am an object in the world? Thinking. We cover up the inherent emptiness of self with thought. We constantly imagine ourselves into a seemingly solid object in the world through thought. We identify our bodies through thought. I am the body. Thus, all our thoughts about me are really thoughts about the destiny of the body. We forget that we couldn't possibly be our bodies, because we are what is aware of our body. But with thought and thinking, we cover all that up. We forget what our real relationship is to the body. First, we identify with our bodies through thought, and then we create more thoughts, usually worry, based on the idea that we are identical to the body. We are obsessed and constantly concerned about the destiny of this body. Thought resists thought. Example, they don't like me. I am so fat. I am not good enough. Why did they say that about me? I am going to show them. Worry, anxiety, depression, all forms of thought resisting thought. So what to do? If we could just stop thinking, all our problems would be solved. This is where the next question can help. This question, when truly inquired, can break the vicious circle of this obsessive thinking. So let's ask that question once more. Is the thinker merely a thought? My usual understanding is that I am the thinker of my thoughts. I is something that can generate thought, just as one cannot find a center or location for seeing, hearing, or feeling, no matter how hard you look. In other words, there is no location or point in space from where these seeing, hearing, or feeling are arising. And if you look from direct experience, you can see that like seeing, hearing, and feeling, thoughts too arise from nothing and return to nothing. No thinker of thoughts can be located. Once this thinker dissolves thought, the inquiry of direct experience, that is looking for this thinker entity, thought itself begins to weaken. because the thinker is seen as never having existed. Thoughts fixate on thought. Thought, being energy, can resist thought. Thus, you have mental conflict. Thoughts fighting against other thoughts, and feelings of anxiety, fear, sadness, and depression. Thoughts cease to resist thought. Only the working mind remains. That is, what is the next obvious thing to do? Life becomes simple and effortless. Just the next obvious thing. How to practice? We must become more and more familiar with these insights. The word meditation means to become familiar with. You come back again and again to these questions. You recognize yourself in direct experience again and again and again. This may mean that you sit quietly and close your eyes and contemplate these questions, or it might mean that you just live your life. But with this inquiry into self and world, the constant background to everything you do, the bottom line is you need to get familiar with this understanding. That means you must meditate in whatever manner works best for you. Thus, more and more you begin to understand that what you believed in the past to be mean, a reference point, an ego, is not solid. Rather, what is made of is only remembered images and thoughts. The very thinker is only a thought. You notice that this emptiness that is you has the capacity to recognize what is, just as it is. No thinking required. In the recognition of the self as empty thoughts, and confusion subsides naturally because there is no point, no self to attach themselves. Emptiness, but an emptiness that is aware, non-conceptual awareness. Awareness that is completely free of thought. Thought appears in emptiness, awareness, and it dissolves in emptiness, awareness. And then it becomes profoundly obvious. Everything arises out of emptiness and returns to emptiness. Thus, what arises from emptiness is itself emptiness. Everything is only ever an apparent modification of emptiness. Everything is emptiness. Thus, the state of Jagrat Sushupti is deeply intuited, non-conceptually aware, awake, without any subject, object thinking going on, deep sleep. Now, the inquiry can go a little deeper. Empty ourselves evermore. Right here and right now, you are that emptiness, awareness, even before it expressed as the concept I am. I am comes, I am goes. Only nothing remains. I am was the first movement in nothingness. I am is an illusion. Prior to I am is nothing. You are that right now.